Yeah, baby. Yeah, welcome to the Power Hour. It's DJ Oakley here. You've got Quinn in the G. Burbick Farm Studios, Richie Giuliano, Paul Munson. We've got EB down in the middle. You got Mac and Ty Bartell. First off, before we get started, before we even get to the
Oh, there we
national
go.
day it is, I have to give a
That
shout.
was
What
all
the hell
like
is
it was
wrong
all
with
like
you already,
staticky
Paul?
and it was really bad.
Shout out to the Vindies. We talk about YSN. We talk about loyal, local, and live. There is no more local than one of the best bands in the entire area, if not the best band, in my humble opinion, in the Vindies. We want to shout out to the Vindies and thank them for allowing us to use their song as our new intro right here for the Power Hour. And shout out to this guy right here in the middle, the man in the middle, the Uber connector who just connecting YSN to the world, basically, and Eric Bailey and making that happen. So shout out to the Vindies and shout out to EB. I think it turned out pretty sweet, boys. What do you think?
It's awesome.
My favorite part is when it comes up to you, how the whiteboard in the background, it says Jeff has a brash. And it kills me every time.
Well, you know what today is. We don't have to really dig too deep into it. National Cyber Monday Day. So my question to you is, what deal are you out there looking for or trying to help Santa Claus with for you or for your family? I think we know where to start for this, and I know it's not going to go very well. Let's start with our resident expert in all things PlayStation 5. How did it go for you, Billy?
Yeah. I was up all night. It's almost like a competitive thing at this point now. It's like now I have to get one just to be like I won, and there's just so many things. I was kind of hitting a couple different sites and a lot of flash sales coming in and they're like unexpected. So you have to kind of be ready and be ready to hit that refresh. It's like I said, it's like a competitive thing, and I got into a couple queues and I was about 100 people off. So, yeah, middle fingers to the sky on that.
And then you go from the guy who is trying to get things on Cyber Monday to the guy that's trying to sell things on Cyber Monday. Ty, how was your Cyber Monday? How was your Black Friday so far?
I'm just trying to get through these holiday seasons with all of them, man. Honest to God, like I'm so over all this right now with all the orders and everything requests with all the new game systems. I'm just trying to get through it right now.
Wow. Is there anything out there that you want for Cyber Monday that you trying to get your hands on?
Not really. Don't care. Just get through it. So
You sound like you just woke up.
probably about 30 minutes ago. Yeah. So.
That boy living that dream. Then we got look at this guy all suited and booted, ready with a tie. EB, what do you want for Cyber Monday?
Preferably, I'd like a victory for the Salem Lady Quakers in our first game tonight, but I guess I can't really order that. So we'll have to prove that one on the court and see what happens. Not really anything. I mean, I'm not a big gamer, so I'm not hawking people or middle fingers to the sky with BMAC or anything like that. Dude,
You're missing out then.
I'm sorry, man.
You're not.
I've never been a big gamer.
You ain't living, all right? Let me tell you something.
Look, generally I just order a bunch of stuff on Amazon and surprise myself weekly.
I like that. Paul, is there anything out there that you're looking for Cyber Monday for you or the girls?
There's two things that we're out there hunting down. So one was a TV. We're getting a new TV for the living room. We've got new TVs in the other rooms, but the living room one has been our oldest. We had it before we got married, so it's still kicking.
Duck Hunt on it?
No, actually Pong. Pong's what we're playing on that one. And then we're getting
Look at
new
that
little
tube TV.
Yeah,
tube TV in them.
we're getting new little iPads for the girls. Well, not really iPads, just kind of like a little Fire, the thing from Amazon. So there are pretty good deals out there. So we're hunting those down. That's about it, though.
We got the girls' 10-inch tablets, the Fire, whatever they are.
Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. The girls love them. 3 years old. I never thought I'd give 3-year-old tablets, but here we are. Welcome to 2020. Richie, what's out there for you for Cyber Monday? You're muted.
Sorry. There wasn't anything for me really, but I was looking for Warzone for my brother just because he games a lot in his off time, and I couldn't really find it anywhere. I went to GameStop and they were out of it, but I was also late to the party because Black Friday was a big day for gaming. They had those big 50% off deals, and I went on Saturday. So everything was pretty much sold out by the time I got there. So I'm still kind of searching around, trying to find it online and looking for the best deal.
Q, how about you?
I was on the hunt for a PS5 also. That didn't happen. Turned it to an iPad Pro. That didn't happen. I give up. I'm done.
Well, it was a good start, I guess. For me, my wife and I decided that we're just gonna make the new gym what used to be, well, what still will be, the man cave downstairs. But she's got her treadmill, and we found one of those towers that you can do like the kick ups and push ups and all the pull ups, everything on the one thing for like $100. So we just went all in on the $99 sale that was happening on Walmart. And we'll have the Jim De La Yoakley downstairs. So that was my big Black Friday / Cyber Monday find. So that's the name of the game. That was the best that was out there today. So happy Cyber Monday to everybody. Hope you get everything you want and don't end up with missing out on PS5s. And I don't hear anything about Xboxes. Are they hard to come by too?
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I care. Because the only reason I had my PS4 was because of the show, and now the show is going to be on the Xbox. So I don't. PS5 can piss off.
Yeah. Ty, how are the Xboxes selling?
We had a big shipment that came in the one day, and then it hasn't been in since. So I mean, it's kind of hard to find everywhere. I think, yeah.
I've got no time for it as it is, so I'm just going to wait it out. By the time I need it, they should be readily available, like Dyson sweepers. So I'm just gonna wait it out, see how that goes. Sounds like everybody else is gonna have to wait it out too. So let's get to this part too, guys. Before we talk about some sports, how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Any good stories anybody wants to pass along? Well, this is a different show.
Different. I'll say that. With COVID and everything going on, grandparents weren't able to attend, and that's one of the main reasons I look forward to Thanksgiving is because I get to see them and a lot of other family members that come out of town. And it was just weird because you end up with 10 people at Thanksgiving and you're used to 20, especially in my family, which is bigger. So it was just kind of awkward and weird. And I don't know. I just didn't like it as much this year.
You actually had to talk to your parents. You had to talk to your family. It was so awkward.
No, it's not just that. It's just something's missing. And it's pretty obvious, but there's nothing you could do about it. So you just try and get it over with and watch some football, and just
which was also missing, by the way.
That was
great
worse.
Football.
That was terrible. Quentin, how was your Thanksgiving? You're always a great supporter of all the things family and sharing and caring.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I ate myself into a coma like I always do. I had great desserts and I watched football, so the Lions lost, and I was happy because Jeff was miserable. So it was great. It was a normal Thanksgiving for me. I enjoyed it.
Jeff's always miserable in our group chat, and he's always about 10 minutes behind everybody too. So, Muncie, how did you like Thanksgiving? Weird, because it was probably just the four of you, right?
Well, her parents came over,
Okay.
but they always come over. We've been around them enough that it's okay. But yeah, Thanksgiving's always been kind of low key. Here, it's just the four of us, and then her parents come over because we don't travel to Pittsburgh to see my dad or anything. So it's just the four of us plus them. We play games. That's always a little crazy because we play categories, and some of the answers get questioned, and then we have to vote on them as a group. So yeah, I'll have to say most of them are mine because I try. I'm a stretcher. Yeah, not me. Who would have guessed? Yeah. So, but it was okay. It was Livy and I. We were the teammates, and so we won. So it was good.
There you go. EB, you had to throw that last part in, didn't you? Yeah, and we won. So.
And we won. Yeah, we did.
EB, how was your Thanksgiving?
Good. I actually, Wednesday I hung out with Betos for a while, which you know how that goes. It one or two ways real quick, and it went the other way real quick.
So do you remember Wednesday night?
Smoked a turkey, smoked a ham, which came out phenomenal. Generally sort of like Richie, our whole family comes in from out of town. So we went from 25 people to 7 real quick. It was just me, my sisters, nieces, nephew, mom, dad. So I mean, that wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. Like I don't mind cooking for people, so that part didn't bother me. And then Friday, hung out with you, and then Betos even longer, which once again, that goes one of two ways real quick, and it went the other way real quick. Um, but
behaving while I
it
was
was
there.
just it was cool. You know, we got to do some stuff with our Salem girls to where you know it was low key. We can't really do what we want to, but you know, we all did a little brunch, socially distanced, of course, and then outside of that, just hang out with good friends and family, have some good drink. You know, didn't have to throw any middle fingers to the sky. Didn't bet on the Lions, and Cowboys did what I thought they'd do. So,
All right, Mac, how about you?
Evie, there's a lot of digs at me there. That's all I want to say. Start this off here. A lot of shade being thrown by the man in the tie.
when you have a tie, you can do whatever you want.
That's right.
I guess I just don't wear ties. Basically, mine sounded similar to Quinn's. It was just I ate myself into a coma, almost fell asleep at the dinner table. That was exciting. Got called out for that about 12 times. I was tired. I eat and then I want to fall asleep. That's just kind of how it goes. Other than that, I had my niece for the weekend. We set up the Christmas stuff and had a good weekend. So it was quiet.
And Ty, how was yours?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot smaller than it has been in years past, but it was the first Thanksgiving I think I've been able to attend in 5 years. I usually end up working, so I mean, I think I was just happy for even having one this year. So I thought it was nice.
Mine was good because it turned out well. We made the best of it. Let's put it that way. It started out we were going to do my aunt's house and head over. Well, there was some COVID issues there, and then we were going to go to Sarah's parents' house, and there were some issues there. Last minute they said, "Come on." We said no. We already bought the food, so we just did it all from Casa de la Yokley, and I got to fry a turkey, like deep fried turkey. I was stoked. It turned out awesome. I feel like I was Emerald Lagasse, like bam, throwing spices left and right. Sarah didn't think it was too amusing, but I thought it was hilarious, and turkey turned out fantastic. And like you guys, I stuffed myself so I couldn't move. Then I fell asleep. So, and Kate saying he did fall asleep at the dinner table. You fell asleep at the dinner table?
I mean, everybody was just we were sitting there for an hour and a half after we ate. So, I mean,
all right, okay. We have some Michael Page chiming in. Yo, let's make it a great week. You too, Pager. Make sure that we're all going to make it a great week. We're talking sports, believe it or not. Let's kick it off with this. This was kind of an interesting scenario. Trent Conway says, I'm all for women's liberation. Women can do most things men can usually do it better. That being said, it was a shitty kick. Just saying.
She was supposed to do that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a squib kick. I think that's what people are missing. The whole idea behind the squib kick. It was executed perfectly if you look at it from a standpoint because there was a minimal return and the defense was ready to go. They put the defense in a good place. So I'm interested to see how many people really I feel bad saying this, but I think maybe she understands football a little bit better than most of the people, and some people just want to complain about it. I'm not saying Trent, but I actually backed up somebody on social media this week as well that was talking about the kicker and saying it was more of a storyline than it was anything else. And I got to disagree. This isn't necessarily when you're doing things for the first time ever. It's not necessarily for records. It's more or less to break down the walls so everybody else can follow suit. So when you look at the first Power 5 kicker ever, yeah, she kicked off. What else did you want her to do? Like, everybody said, I want a field goal. I want an extra point. Well, they don't score. You can't do it.
When the team's terrible, what are you supposed to do?
You're not going to go out there and play quarterback if you're a kicker. I mean, I just think the expectations were set a little bit too high, and people were looking for, that ultimate Disney movie story that just doesn't happen like that. So, I'm all for it. I thought she executed the kick great. Considering putting their defense, there was no return. So, I was all for it. Anybody else have opinions on the kick by was it Sarah
Fuller?
Thank you.
I just say like it was a perfect time to do it just because you talk about like breaking the wall. Vanderbilt doesn't have a win. I mean, their kicker in the past has not been good. Why not? You know, she's got a great leg, and I'm with you on this one, DJ. I think she executed that kick perfectly. I mean, it's a squib kick. She wasn't going to kick it into the back of the end zone. I mean, Vanderbilt had to do something, and you know what? The squib kick was what they designed for her coming in. So I think it was just a great opportunity for the coaching staff to really give her a chance to shine in the bright lights.
Paul, did you want to respond to Carrie's? You wanted me to put it back up there? Well,
Oh,
I went
no,
off 6 a.m., prep the turkey, wrap tray of bacon wieners. We call those Munson wieners, by the way. Made coffee and cinnamon rolls. Muncie woke up after 9 and also napped.
Oh yeah, I woke up to the smell of cinnamon rolls and turkey. And it was a great day. You know what more could you ask for? Sat down, ate cinnamon rolls, had coffee. You know, dinner was served around like 2:30, 3 o'clock. You know, it's good. But you know, to this girl, I mean, listen, like you said, she did exactly what they asked her to do. They didn't want her to try to kick into the end zone. They wanted a nice little squib kick. She did that. Now, if they would have scored, absolutely she would have went out there and tried to kick the extra point. Or if they would have got inside the 20, 25, she would have tried to kick a field goal. You know, but, I mean, that's just – they're a terrible team. So she's out there to try to help the team out. I think they tried to do a squib kick for another reason too. And, I mean, I don't know if I totally agree with everybody saying it was a publicity stunt, but they also don't want to see her get crushed either. Like if she'd kick off and they put a return on, you know as well as everybody on this panel, there's going to be somebody out there to be like, she wants to play football? All right, we're going to treat her like a football player. And somebody's going to go after her to hit her, to just, you know, be a jerk.
Hit her.
And, you know, that's the bad thing.
Why is it a jerk? Why is it a jerk move? Kickers get hit all the time.
Oh, well, the reason being that they're going to say you intentionally went after her because she was a girl. You know, not all the kickers are Pat McAfee out there wanting to light people up. You know, a lot of times the kickers are the people who just want to kick it and kind of, you know, not make they get beat like a quarterback does after they throw an interception. I'm going to try to tackle you. Well, I fall down. You know.
So why couldn't she do the same thing? I mean, if that's the case, well, have you ever watched kickers in NFL? They're the biggest. I'm going to refrain from saying the word that I want to. Pansies out there.
Nice job. Well played.
I just think they didn't want to see her get put in that position. You know,
listen,
whether
I think she knows. Really, I think she knows what position she's putting herself in. I don't think that she's going to shy away from a little bit of contact. You know, I really don't. And listen, I don't think anybody's going to shy away from hitting her. I think when you sign up for that job, you know what you're getting into. It's minimal contact for the most part. You know, she's probably not going to outrace one of. I don't know her 40 time, but she's probably not going to outrace a Division I wide receiver or kick returner. So, you know, if she takes the right angle, she might be able to knock him out of bounds. But other than that, I think she's just as good as any other kicker. You know, whether she has the parts or not, you know, it doesn't matter because she's able to kick at a high level, and that's why she's on the team. It's not
I mean,
I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know if she's a good kicker or not. I haven't seen it yet.
I don't think they would put somebody from the soccer. Hey, listen, most of the soccer team is better kickers than normal football kickers anyway.
Just gonna have to wait and see if she puts one through the uprights to see if she's good enough to be out there or not.
Well, I think what we're going to find out, and I'll give you a little inside information, is that there's going to be some walls broken here for the first time locally in the next couple days that some of us might know about. You know, Harley Novak has been an excellent kicker for South Range all season. She's about to garner some awards, and they're well-deserved. And I will fight anybody that says otherwise because she was probably the highest accuracy rate and putting extra points through and field goals, I believe, as well.
Yeah. Well, she was what? Inland Kicker of the Year.
Yeah. So you look at that. I mean, that's phenomenal. And those are some of the stories that we'll be covering from the YSN level, but they have to be released first.
They were
the
released.
Public. No, you don't know. You're not getting what I'm throwing out.
Oh.
Our friends are not giving us the information to put out publicly yet, even though everybody else has the information and has put it out publicly. So
it's been out on social media for the last 2 or 3 days.
The inland stuff, yes.
Yeah, the inland stuff,
but
yeah.
not the other, not the conference first team and second team.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about the inland one. That one was released a couple days ago.
Yeah, inland's fantastic, but it's, I mean, I'm not even going to get into it. That seems like a participation trophy sometimes with those ones, but it is what it is. I mean, Ty, what's your take on Sarah Fuller and getting to kick. And, is this a publicity stunt or is this legitimately done because she's the right person for the job?
I'd like to think that it's legitimate. I mean, honest to God, I don't think that she would put herself in that situation without knowing what she's going to get into. And I'd like to think that she's going to be placed on the team because she's genuinely good enough to be on the team. And I mean, obviously, we'll see going forward what she's like, kicking field goals, extra points. There's been some bad kickers in pro football that have been able to stay on a team a whole season, which, hitting less than 70% of their kicks on field goal attempts. So I think that if she's good enough, I think she'll be on the team. And I think she's on the team because she's good enough. And I mean, I understand what some people are concerned, if she's getting hit or tackled, but I mean, she knows that she's playing gladiator type sport. I mean, I'd like to think she knows it, and she's in like you said, a minimal a contact position, and it's not always about you don't always have to be jacked and big as hell to be able to play sports. I mean, I don't know. I've seen plenty of skinny dudes that are twigs that have played sports. Maybe not as much football as other, but I mean, look at Tim Lincecum. It's the first one that comes off to the top of my head, dude, with skin and bones through 98 and one Cy Young. I mean, it's not always that. Athleticism doesn't always equate to weight. So let's see what she can do. Give her a chance is all I'd say.
Coach Seidel saying, keep in mind the coach went to the soccer teams because they didn't have a kicker available. She volunteered because she had kicked in high school. So she had some experience doing it. I think she's – everybody – here's my thing is why complain about it was just a kick? Because you know that whenever she gets up and if and when she kicks it through the uprights, you're going to look like a total asshat for saying, well, she didn't even kick it through the upright. Relax. Take it easy. Let them score, and then she'll try to take care of business. TCB. But until then, she did her job. Back off. Just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing. And everybody wants this, cool running story about Sarah Fuller. Not going to happen yet. She's had one opportunity, and she executed. To me, it's a 9 out of 10. The only way it would have been better if she kicked it right into the corner, and it's down at the 1. So, well done. Here's my my next question. Moving on, or let's say any final thoughts on Sarah Fuller this weekend? Nope. All right. Next, biggest win of the weekend. It can be high school, regional, pro, international. Who had the biggest win to you this weekend? Quinn, you had your tip-off tournament canceled. Could have been a nice little victory for you on multiple fronts. Who had the biggest win for you this weekend?
In my personal life, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns because they don't have a losing record this year for the first time in what feels like 400 years. So that's going to be my biggest win. Browns are no longer losers yet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
They can't lose. The worst they can do is 500 this year.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
I'd have to say,
Billy, 8-3.
We're 1-3 against teams over 400.
all right. Anyway, San Francisco actually beat Virginia, top 4 team in the country over the weekend. So that was one of the biggest upsets. Yeah, University of San Francisco.
All right, San Fran.
Big time upset. Yeah, beat Virginia.
There was another team that got beat.
And then Kentucky lost too.
Damn it, Richie.
Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
That's all.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the Richmond Spiders. Yeah, the Richmond Spiders beating Kentucky. And that was a big upset. So that'd be my biggest upset.
Quinn, did
Big
you
win.
like that upset?
I mean, it's not as big as San Francisco, but it's still an upset.
Yeah, I would say so.
It is. It's an upset.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll lose. Kentucky's going to lose 3 more games, and they'll still be in the Elite 8, and we won't even have this discussion, so it's okay.
Okay. AB, go ahead.
I was going to go to San Francisco, so that's a good call for Richie. I didn't think anyone would really pay attention to that, but I don't consider the Kentucky upset as big of an upset as people think. Richmond's a respectable program, and it generally makes the tournament. So a team like that, if they're returning a lot of seniors, or they return a lot from the year before, that's not a huge upset in my book. I'm going to go with Cleveland Browns, though. I mean, Stefanski, I think, has done a great job. If I know people are going to give Tomlin Coach of the Year nod because being undefeated, but this dude took a dumpster fire and turned it into like a garbage truck. So now it has wheels and it moves instead of just sitting there and burning. So it's actually a little bit more respectable than what it was before.
My mom yelling at Paul for clicking the pen, and Switka chiming in about the itsy bitsy Richmond Spiders. Mac, who you going with? Biggest win of the weekend?
I'm going to go the rest of college football outside of the Big Ten. It looks like Wisconsin and Ohio State are not going to play in a Big Ten championship and probably not going to get into the playoff. So it's a big win for everybody else not to get Ohio State.
Why are you clicking everything, Paul? Like every
What?
possible. Like you just snapped all your fingers at once, and everybody cringed collectively at the same time.
Sorry.
So you don't think Ohio State? They're going to let Ohio State in the playoffs?
I mean, you just seen what Michigan just said today. They're out. So they're out for 2 weeks. That means that we're not going to play them either. So, I mean, you're looking at 3 games out. Michigan don't want to play us right now anyway. Let's be fair.
No, they'd get absolutely smacked.
That 100 piece that Coach Day said he's putting on them might actually happen.
Look at this one. McPherson chiming in, saying Taylor from Maslin Jackson scoring 28 in her Oregon debut. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Oregon's a much better fit for her because she was at what, Ohio State or Maryland. Yeah, she was at Maryland. And Oregon's a better fit for Taylor Mike. So just their style. I don't think. Not that Maryland's a bad program. Obviously, it's a very good program, but she just fits better over at Maryland, over at Oregon than she did in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Ty, how you feeling about the biggest win this weekend?
Looking at NFL wise, I don't want to say that the Browns was a huge win. I mean, I kind of expected them to beat the Jaguars of all teams. For me, I think out of the NFL, biggest win for me looking at it was the Chiefs beating the Buccaneers, because there was a lot of people beginning of the season, and I was one of them that said that the Buccaneers can take the Chiefs' throne as that best team in the league. And I think the Chiefs are starting to prove a lot of people wrong. They're starting to come into their own again and really show that they're going to be Super Bowl contenders once again.
Brady looks like trash.
He looks trash one week, and then the next week he'll look great. He's one of the most inconsistent years I've ever seen out of him. But I also understand he's 43. So
well, he's also got Byron Leftwich as his offensive coordinator and Bruce Arians, who's a 7-step drop guy, as his head coach. So if you're not playing Brady ball, Brady's obviously going to be a little bit out of the loop. And I agree with you. He looks good one week, but then it just looks like the communication's so piss poor on that Tampa Bay sideline. I still think they make the playoffs. I think they're in too good a position to not make.
Oh yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win 10 games.
Back on that board over there is a little $50 wager with our good friend Ronnie Poe. And
how'd your last wager go?
With Ron?
Yeah.
Good, I won.
Well, I know. Did you collect?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was crying about it, said I bullied him into it. So I just said, you know what? We'll let this one slide.
5'2" bully. That's crazy.
5'4". And you're not that much taller than I am there, Ginger Snap. So,
I'm a giant compared to you.
Nah, I don't think
I'm a giant. There's only one giant on this panel, and he's down there.
It's the base of the pyramid.
Wait a minute. You think this is a pyramid?
It's base of whatever this is you want to call this.
A rectangle?
Yeah, sure. Rectangle.
Nice job, Jeff.
It comes to a point, so.
That'd be a triangle.
Sure, triangle. Whatever.
Anyway, my gosh.
You let the study hall teacher correct you, Clint.
I failed study hall.
That doesn't.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't shock anybody. My win of the weekend is going to go to the Salem Quakers. My goodness. On Saturday night, did they come out on fire, scoring over 20 in the first quarter against a very good Heartland Christian team that not only reloaded, but they absolutely are in the midst of being one of the most talented programs out there, because they got shooters everywhere you look. Once that team gels, they're going to be good. But until then, look out for Salem. The length that they have, they've got a young man, junior, named Drew Weir, I believe is his name. Keep your eyes on him because he is going to be a standout athlete in this area. Very tall, very lanky, very gamey. Likes it inside, likes it outside. He can do anything, and he's going to be hard to cover by some. I mean, let's be honest. There's not a whole lot of height in this area when it comes to basketball. We're mostly known for our physicality and things of that nature down low, banging bodies. Drew Weir is going to be a standout, and I think John Berdovich on the other side for Heartland is going to be a stud as well. We saw what he did in East Palestine. We're going to see if it transfers over to Heartland. I think talent like that easily will kind of relay back over to the other way. He was more of a distributor, though, the other night than he was a scorer. He scored 9 points and was able to distribute the ball very well throughout. So I'm interested to see how things go, but right now the Quakers are outstanding. Jeff, you got something to say? No, I think EB just wanted off the screen. All right. We have to take a break. When we come back, still a lot to talk about, including your basketball preview a little bit. We'll talk about some of the teams. We're also going to talk about this MLB Draft League that was concocted today. 6 teams, and one of them is from the Valley. We'll talk about all that and more, and, of course, your G. Burbick Farms, What's Your Beef, all that when we return to the Power Hour on YSN.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Oakley with you. Who's talking? I heard a little
What?
girl voice. Is that your girls?
Yeah, she's sitting at the table playing the game.
There you go. All right, so we're back. Major League Baseball Draft League. Sounds a little bit weird, but it sounds like, and what I've read and what I've heard on Running Point today, is it's going to be made up of essentially college-level players that are looking to be drafted at the next level. Now, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers were chosen as one of 6 teams to be a part of this, and we had the general manager of the Scrappers on Running Point earlier today. We're going to get that put out on YSN Live, but I want to get your opinions on, I mean, I know, Quinn, you're not much of a baseball guy, but you can relate to getting players to the next level and how this is going to be for the Valley. Richie, I want to get your thoughts first because we talked about it right before. How do you feel about this league? Do you think it's going to be a big thing for the Valley, or do you think it's just going to be 5 years away from letting baseball go in the Youngstown area?
For the Valley, it's kind of tough to see now just because it's starting to develop. But for baseball in general, I think this is going to be a really fun thing to kind of see evolve in the future. I mean, you talk about juniors and seniors in college as well as JUCO players that are the best in the country, not just in the state, that are going to be traveling to come play in the Mahoning Valley. And then everybody around, say you want to see one of your favorite players from Florida play. Well, if he gets sent to Mahoning Valley, you're going to get to see him play regardless because they only play 6 teams. And that's the good thing I think about this league is it's the first of its kind, and it's starting in the Mahoning Valley. It's pretty cool to think about because the Scrappers, yes, they were affiliated with the Indians, but they only played such a short schedule. And, you know, they weren't a real big part of the Indians organization. Now that they are a part of the MLB and they have a chance to really send kids to the next level, I think this is going to be competitive baseball because the kids are going to be fighting to get drafted, and I think it's going to be a really talented league where it's going to be basically a college and a JUCO all-star league just combined with 6 teams. So I'm really excited for it.
I love it. Before we get to Max, Andrew Fowler joining the show and says, just to let you know, Struthers versus Canfield varsity boys tomorrow at 5:30 for the JVs, varsity at 7. He'll be broadcasting on Facebook Live too. So, Richie, you have some competition, I believe, with Andrew Fallett. So, good luck in that.
He's my boy. I like Andrew.
Mac, how do you feel about this draft league and Andrew Fallett broadcasting on Facebook?
Well, last time Andrew was on Facebook Live, it wasn't so good. So that I remember, or at least with my experience. I'm not really sure. I really just don't know. I think there's still a lot of unknowns. I mean, ideally, if it's a league that can put guys into the draft or get guys signed, I mean, it's great. It's great for baseball in general, not just for the Valley, but. I mean, we'll see. I don't. Attendance wise, I don't know how great it will be for the Valley. A lot of people don't support baseball in the Valley unless it's for mom and dad who come out and watch the game. So there's going to be a lot of advertising going on, and you're talking about kids coming in from Florida and all across the country. That'll be a tough sell for the community in itself just to go out and watch a baseball game. I mean, because at the end of the day, I'd rather them come out to Ysn Park than go out to Scrappers Field.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point there. There's a lot of great talent that's not only just a few miles away from Eastwood Field at Ysn Park. So, well played, Mr. Mack. Let's go to Paul Munson. You deal with players on a high school level, a lot of high-level players for you. Would you want to see more players around this area that could get drafted, could be big names on the Major League roster someday?
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I think to see, some talent that's going to be out there, it's going to be a little different. They're not pro guys. They're going to be college guys out there trying to get, drafted into the big leagues. But I mean, we love baseball in this area. I mean, I know, like you said, Ysn Park is huge and has a lot of our local talent down there, and they're going to be there. I mean, they're going to have to do a lot of promotions. I think, like what Billy said too, they're going to have to do, the dollar nights, different things like that to get people to come to the games. But I mean, the Scrappers had to kind of do the same thing. I mean, you could go any day of the week and get a ticket and be right on the field if you wanted to, for the most part. So it's going to be most of the same. But I mean, it was a good job. I mean, people keeping their jobs at Eastwood Field was nice. I mean, and it's a great field. I mean, to see it not be used would be more of a tragedy than to have, these teams come in there that are, college kids. People might complain about that, like, oh, I don't want to go see it. Then don't go see it. And there's going to be people who are going to go see it. And it's an easy night. It's a nice night out. It's a beautiful field. Go out there, have a couple hot dogs and a drink and some popcorn and watch some baseball. Who cares?
Well, the field does get used. That is YSU's home field.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, I mean, I've heard rumors, and as the official go-to audio broadcast of YSU, we don't want to fan the fire any, but we've heard that there's been some talks of YSU going different places, and here, there, anywhere. I mean, they want to stay in Eastwood, it sounds like, but Eastwood continues to try to jack the rent up a little bit, and especially this would have been really hard for them, being the only team at Eastwood Field if the Scrappers were there. So I can only imagine how that would have gone. And Eastwood Field's still a beautiful field, still a beautiful facility, and I think for the money, it's a great night out. It's an easy date night, and especially if you got kids, take them and watch a ball game. The question is, how is it going to be with COVID? Will COVID still be around in spring? Some people say it will. Some people say it won't. It's going to be interesting, because are you going to be able to get a real temperature check on the interest of people that want to see Scrappers baseball in whatever spectrum it may be? Whether it be the minor league baseball, which it's no more, or whether it be this the Major League Baseball draft league. So it's going to be interesting. What kind of coverage do you want to see from this? I mean, Potesta and Anthony were talking about it being on the MLB network once or twice a week. Do you think that it's going to garner that much attention, or do you think it's going to be like glorified minor league baseball? Let's go to EB. I mean, how would you want to see it represented?
It sounds like glorified minor league baseball. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm not a huge baseball person, so the following to this is just going to be the diehards. Like you said, we can get to this game because it's going to be cheaper, it's easier, it's in our backyard. If I'm Eastwood, I really set this up to, make it about the experience, do a little more things. But to me, all in all, this sounds like the G League in the NBA. Like that's all it sounds like to me. And there's a place for it, but same thing with the G League, not selling out 20,000 seat stadiums. Look at the Canton Charge. It's over at the Civic Center in Canton, which it's a great place, and it's a nice cheap getaway for, I guess, the diehards, or you can't really pay to make it to Cleveland, so we'll go to Eastwood. So it kind of like a Band-Aid, just trying to make things work right now because they didn't know what to do. So now we're gonna piece some things together to see if this works. So if I'm Eastwood, make a play on this. Like you said, hey, it's a great date night. It's cheap. It's cost effective, I should say. I don't want to say cheap, but it's cost effective. So, hey, call someone like the Vindies and do a little show after the game, and you throw in the fireworks and everything, and make it all about the experience.
I think it's a marketing. Go ahead, Mac.
My biggest question with this league is how are you going to steal guys away from the Cape? How are you going to steal guys from the Northwoods? How are you going to steal guys from all these other developmental things that are doing the same thing, that have had tons and tons and years of success getting guys drafted? And colleges, they like known things, right? So when this league goes to these colleges and say, hey, we want guys, we need guys to come play in the league, or straight out of high school, we need guys to come play in the league, colleges usually dictate where these guys go. Okay, so the Northwoods has a lot of success for hitters. Cape, we've all heard, maybe if you're not familiar with baseball, that is the premier league that baseball guys go and they get drafted in college, the top 3 to 5 rounds. So you're projected really high to play in that league. And then the Coastal League is probably those mid rounds. So how are you going to steal guys from these leagues, players, to come in there and play?
Simple. You have the brand. You have the brand MLB attached to it.
Yeah,
that's all.
I don't think that matters. I really don't think it matters, because tradition alone says that, hey, if I'm a player and I go here, I have a better chance of being scouted. Scouts are everywhere. Just because it's attached to a name, I don't think it matters unless it has a history of doing so. And I don't think just because you put MLB attached to it, I don't think that's enough for me.
I mean, I'm not to knock you, Billy, but I think that has everything to do with it. I think if the MLB stamps off on this, it's going to be easy for them to utilize highlights and utilize whatever they want, because they'll have rights to everything, right? Whereas in the Cape Cod League and you talk about the Coastal League, they don't. They have very little control over what happens. They are the tip of the pyramid, if you will, and they're going to be able to see and stamp off on every single thing that this league does. And I think they're going to make sure that it does it the way that the MLB wants, and in return, you have a better opportunity to be drafted or facilitated or groomed to be drafted. I think you might see some managers that are in the same boat, where they might be fringers on the outside, that you're going to see some names come out of this. So, but Pletch seems to agree with you. He's chiming in and saying, spot on, Mac, it won't take players from the Cape, Plains, and Northwoods. They'll get the next level. Great baseball, but not the top. Only time's going to tell. It was just announced today, but I got to believe if the MLB has anything to do with it, they're going to groom this in their favor, so that way they can have control, which is, as we all know, what it's all about. So,
well, I think
it will take time.
I think like Billy said, I think the proof will be in the pudding. It might take a little time. How many of these guys, and the MLB is the one that's going to do it. If the MLB wants us to be successful, they are going to have to make sure that guys out of this league are getting drafted earlier than these other guys in these other leagues, because then these kids are going to go, wait a second, I can go play in the Cape Cod League and I'm getting drafted faster and higher than I am playing in this league. Or it could be vice versa. They're going to say, wait a second, we go play in this MLB draft league? Shit, I'm getting drafted pretty quick. Other guys did too. My buddy from Vanderbilt, my buddy from Florida, they got drafted higher than these other guys going to Cape Cod. I want to go to this league. And only MLB can make that happen. If they don't try to push this their way and make it so that it looks like these guys are getting drafted faster than those other leagues, then yeah, like these two said, him and Pletch, it'll fall to the wayside. They'll be like, well, all right, these are second tier guys and they're not getting drafted until like round 18 or something stupid.
I think the other leagues have the advantage from the location standpoint too, because these kids that are looking to be drafted want to go away. They want to spend their summers in a place that's really nice. It's going to be a challenge from a location standpoint for people to to say, yeah, I want to go spend my summer in Niles, Ohio. And I think Trenton was another league, and I know Hudson Valley is going to be a double A, I think, for the Yankees now. I was reading. So, I mean, location's a big part of this because, you know, if you say, hey, I'm going to go from Lisbon, Ohio to Texas, that's a lot more kind of, that's a really good move instead of going from Texas to, not to knock Lisbon, but Lisbon, Ohio. I mean, it's the same in Palisades, same everywhere. I mean, we get rained out half of our games anyway in the summer, so it's going to be interesting. So I'm thinking that that down the line, I think it's going to be time will tell. But I think that this 5-year kind of, I don't even want to call it a exhibition, or what's the word I'm looking for? Experiment. It's going to be interesting, but the MLB is going to have to be a big part of this and work quick in order to catch up with these other leagues. Otherwise, again, to Pletch and Mac's point, how do you compete with that? It's something that's already established. So we will see. The other thing I wanted to talk about today was the double standard in the NFL on multiple fronts. I mean, we talked about in our group chat yesterday, kind of going back and forth with the quarterbacks and the helmet contact that the quarterbacks have. We saw it at least 5 times yesterday, just in the games that I was watching in passing. We were talking about it in the Chiefs and Bucks game. It happened in the Niners game as well. Is there a double standard when it comes to you want to play tough, but you don't want to hit the quarterback? And also, I want to bring this to your attention. Most of you already know. You have the Broncos situation yesterday where they have 0 quarterbacks. They bring up someone on their practice squad who is a receiver to play quarterback. He completes 1 out of 9 passes with 1 interception. And then you have the other side of it where Lamar Jackson catches COVID and they cancel basically the game. They keep moving it down the line, and it doesn't look like he's going to play. But why aren't they playing that game if they're in the protocol as well? There seems to be a double standard going on in the NFL. Would anybody like to sit on the fence one way or the other? Quinn?
I mean, the only thing I was thinking about it, because I was thinking, like, the Ravens game has more implications long-term than that Broncos game did. I mean, Denver. They're bad. So, like, it didn't really matter in the long run what happened in that game. At least that's what I was thinking. Like, it just didn't matter, and that's why they didn't really care. Whereas the Baltimore Steeler game obviously has a lot more implications down the road. Other than that, I mean, I couldn't come up with any idea as to why it happened. I really couldn't.
Well, I think there's more people out in Baltimore too. It's not just Lamar. I think there's more than him. I mean, but the NFL, again, you talk about a brand. They're trying to protect their brand. Like Quinn said, do they really care that the Denver, who were they playing? New Orleans
Saints.
Yeah. I mean, did they really care about that game that all the quarterbacks didn't wear their masks in a meeting and they all had to be quarantined? No. Do they care that former MVP is going to battle against another former MVP for pretty much first place lock of their division? Yeah, they do a little bit. They're going to care about the brand a little more about the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game. But on that aspect, I think there's more than just Lamar who's sick that they're trying to, they don't want to just scratch that game. They want to have it played at some point.
Two running backs, a quarterback, their starting defensive line. Yeah,
tough. Deal with it.
That's what I'm saying. It should be treated like an injury, right? Didn't we talk about this earlier this year? It should be treated like an injury. Listen, you've got a practice squad. Enhance the practice squad. You know, make it 100 people if you really want to, and then you bring them up. And guess what? They're in. What I thought was BS was the Broncos actually looked to make their coach, one of their coaches, their quarterback,
their offensive quality control.
And the league said no.
Mm-hmm. That's smart. That's smart by the league.
Why?
Because you can't. That way you don't hide people in random positions. Like an offensive quality control guy. Like if that's the case, then that's like hiding a quarterback that's good and being like, oh yeah, you're a water guy.
He must be real good if he's not on your roster.
But why can the league dictate who you and can't play and hire? That's crazy to me.
Why are you not supposed to be a quarterback?
What does it matter? If they want to put out bums out there, the NFL shouldn't have anything to do about it.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we hired one of our best announcers in the custodial situation in Boardman, so I see where they're coming from. He just celebrated. You can hear him from Boardman.
So
Yes. Thank you, DJ.
Go, Bruce, go.
I think this is just terrible by the NFL. It seems like they're punishing the Denver Broncos and doing everything they can to keep this Pittsburgh and Baltimore game on because it might draw some ratings. That's how I feel about it.
I think you're spot on there because I think it was going to take away ratings on Sunday, which NBC were going to have to split their they were going to have to split their ratings on Sunday. And they realized, well, if we're on Tuesday, we don't have to split ratings because there was already a Tuesday game this year with Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be Al Michaels and my buddy Chris Collinsworth on the call. So it's I think that's what has more to do with it is the sponsorship dollars behind it, Mac, because I think the sponsors got pissed and said, wait a minute, we're supposed to be a primetime game, and this isn't what we signed up for at 1:15 on Sunday.
Yeah, I hope Pittsburgh beats them by 70.
Protect the shield.
I do. I hope they beat them by 70.
Has nothing to do with the shield. Has everything to do with the dollars. That's nothing to do with the shield. If it had something to do with the shield, they'd play on Sunday or even Monday a doubleheader. But it has nothing to do with the shield.
Well, their shield's about money. I mean, the NFL, the NCAA, their shield is. They want to protect the money that the NFL is worth. If you put a game on like that and you lose the sponsor dollars, then it makes your brand diminishes.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it was Pittsburgh Jacksonville, it'd be different, But like somebody said, I forget who, so I apologize. Pittsburgh and Baltimore it's been a name recognized game for years, going back to Polamalu and James Harrison and Joe Flacco, the elite quarterback of them all. So I think it all comes down to you're right, Paul, in some sense. It all comes down to the dollars. Protecting the shield has nothing to do with it. It's protecting the money that they've lost already. They don't want to lose any more. But, to me, and this is going to sound really weird, and I've said this before on the show, the OHSAA has done a better job with COVID than the NCAA and the NFL, by far, because guess what? You got COVID, you're out. See ya. Bye. That's it. That's all there is to it, and that's the way it should be. You forfeit the game. It's a tough break, but it's that's how it goes. Now, what do you do with a situation like the Steelers, where all of a sudden now they've got a couple cases of COVID? That I don't know. That we'd have to talk about. We have to discuss. But.
What's crazy is they got tested positive right almost game time, right? It was like right before.
It would have been the original game time, yeah.
So they had played Thursday, and then fine.
Yeah.
Well, they would have, but then they would have gotten in a lot of trouble for testing positive the next week. They would have forfeited the next week. So.
Sorry, just beat Baltimore.
And the quarterback thing, I think, and I know I chimed in. I started a little bit of that thread yesterday. It's crap. It's just, to me, I think it's total garbage. Like if you breathe on these guys wrong as you're running at them, they throw a flag.
I mean, do I agree with the rule? No, but it's been a rule for a long time now that you can't touch a quarterback's helmet. You can't even glance it. It's if you touch a helmet, it's automatic 15. And we just saw a bunch of it yesterday. For some reason, the dude from the Chiefs was going scorched earth on Tom Brady's face. That's all he wanted to do.
I mean, if it's egregious, I get it. But, how are these defensive guys, as a quarterback's going to throw, you put your arms up to try to block it, and you're coming at him, and now the quarterback's moving as you're moving, and your arm hits his head. And now they throw a flag on it. They're not inflatable dolls, Paul. They can pull their arms down like this, and they're the best athletes in the world. You see them run the 40. You see them jump out of the gym, at the combine. They can move. They just want to get that extra hit on the quarterback. It's true. It really is. I disagree with that, because when we see these guys as fast as they're running, and the quarterback's doing this, and you put your arms up to try to block it, as you're trying to block it to come down, you're supposed to do this or fold your arm in or snap it around. I mean, why not just run at the quarterback like this and just scream at him? I mean, it's it's ridiculous to say, they can pull their arm down real quick.
Wait a minute, one more time. Do that one more time.
In the half second that they're running like this, they can't run like that, So I mean, it's ridiculous. Now listen, if a guy's running and all of a sudden
before Paul shows us any more dance moves, I'm out, fellas. Paul,
Good luck tonight.
Keep up the great
Good
work.
luck, buddy.
EBC, buddy. Good luck.
But when they run and like if a guy like slams his hand into their face mask or something, I get it. I understand that. You dive low with their legs. I get that too. But like to just like graze the side of their helmet and you barely touch them, and then here comes the Oscar action over here going, oh my God, he touched, and then they throw it. It's like, come on. We
I
want
think
to
the
talk
NFL, the NFL made a point.
The kickers, this girl being a kicker, she's going to get hit. You're a quarterback. Quit being a pussy. Come on. Get hit.
I don't understand what he's trying to do. It's offensive league.
It's an offensive league.
Offensive league.
There we go.
Got him again.
The NFL made a point years ago of basically saying, hey, this is where our money's made for each team. There's so much money riding into each team. So this is where you're going to be able to hit a quarterback. And it's basically a target zone. And you have that target zone here. And here's how you're allowed to hit them. And that's it. There is no more egregious. It's he went after him. If any type of contact at the head, towards the knees, it's an automatic flag. It doesn't matter if he accidentally hits him in the head. If he just taps him on the head to say, good job, it's a flag. All right, that's kind of what the official said, and that's what it is. That's just plain and simple. I mean, we can not like it, but the idea that it just is what it is, so we just have to deal with it.
Hang tight right now. All right, we have tonight, trying to get to our tonight on YSN. There it is. Tonight on YSN, United and Salem. Anthony Hartwig will have the call. That's why EB had to take off. He's got his tie on already. He is ready to go. The debut of the Salem Lady Quakers and the United Lady Golden Eagles will be right here on YSN. Anthony will have it from the floor, and we will have all the action from tonight's game kicking off around 7 o'clock. Or tipping off, I should say. I got to change that back over. It'll be tipping off at 7 o'clock tonight. Around that area, we'll have it on ysnlive.com as well as YSN's Facebook, to at least for the first few minutes or so, first quarter or so, and then we'll drive you back over to our site because our sponsors need love over there too. So that's what's on YSN tonight, and we'll get to the games tomorrow. But until then, it is time for the G. Burby Farms What's Your Beef? And leading us off today, the silent majority, known as Mr. Ty Bartell. Ty, the silent guy, what do you got for us?
Today my beef is just with COVID messing up this whole basketball schedule for high school, because the schedule was set in place for weeks now for me, and now all of a sudden it's changing. I get days added, get days taken away. So now I have to go back and refigure out all the days and what I need to do to be there to cover these games. So just frustrating right now with everything, with certain teams canceling their season, certain teams not. So
sounds like there's going to be a conversation between you two after the show. So we'll wait for that one. Paul, what's your beef?
My beef is with delivery people.
Don't be knocking delivering people here, Paul.
Yeah, I am. We clearly have our address on the front of our house. It's clearly on the curb on the street, and we live in a cul-de-sac, and there's only 3 houses. And every single time we order anything, if it's contactless delivery, whatever it is, they hardly ever come to our house first. I mean, today we ordered lunch, and they were at the neighbor's house across the street, and it's like you have GPS. Our address is right there. Yeah, every single time. The only people that get it right are the mail people and FedEx and Amazon and UPS. Other than that, you order anything from food, those people, they never come to our house first. And I'm like, it's not hard. I mean, unless I had a huge sign that says food's coming here, they don't get it right ever. And it's frustrating.
Billy Mack, what's your beef?
Man, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I don't care that Dish Network is getting rid of you. Stop being on my TV, okay? I don't care. I bet on 21. I don't care that you're on there. Get off. Who cares? Can I call and say I demand to just remove them? Because that's how much I don't care about you going on my stream when I'm watching football. Nonstop. Sick of it.
You won't get in trouble for that, I promise. Richie, what's your beef?
I guess it's got to be with my mom here and the Christmas decorations. She's all over the place. Took away my perfect spot. You can see him now in a weird angle here with the freaking sunlight or whatever that's shining through there. And yeah, I'm trying to give you a good look at that. Boxes everywhere. It's just a mess here. And
you're in Ty's house.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mess down there. So yeah, my spot is gone.
Let's go to Quinn and his beef.
My beef is all surrounding with my dad. It's he served up some of this shoddy bacon the other day, and it was horrible. I hated it. Should have had some Berbick bacon. He put up some Christmas decorations way too early for me. I'm not a big fan of that.
Humbug.
Had me yesterday outside helping him put up lights in the thing, and then he goes to plug them in. They didn't even turn on. So, like, what the hell are we doing? Like, if you're going to have me helping you, at least make it work. That's all I'm asking.
That's the problem with the cul-de-sac. Once one person starts it, everybody has to do it. So, like,
yeah, that's another
rushing
thing.
into the Christmas.
One of our
now.
neighbors puts up Christmas decorations at the beginning of November, and if not, then it's pretty much right after Easter. Unbelievable.
And then we get involved with it, and then we have to start helping, and then it's like, dude, we didn't even have Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That side of the cul-de-sac's not a fun side.
Two cats living at home complaining that they have to help put up Christmas lights.
It's not. I don't mind helping. I'm all in on helping. I really am.
Yeah,
but it needs to make it work. Like, don't let me plug it in and it not work. Like, that's just come on.
My favorite part of that entire beef was, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, like, what are we doing? It's unbelievable. No electricity, and he didn't know why. It wasn't plugged in.
It's like the Griswolds. You got to go in the back room and hit a switch, and it's all going to turn on.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh! It's like trying to get electricity in the back room at YSN. You get in the dark. You got to find the switch. You just got to put your hand back there and find it and flip it. My beef is going to be not so much people getting into the holiday spirit too early, but it's the people that don't get into the holiday spirit at all. Like, this is,
Quinn.
it can be.
I'm all in. Just not a month before. Like, that's a joke.
Quinn's all in, but I gotta say this is, you gotta remember when we were younger, right? When we all kind of believed in everything, the miracle and the magic of Christmas. It's something different whenever you have kids and you see it through their eyes again. As everything kind of comes back to you, and you realize what it's all about. And if you forgot that or you kind of dropped it somewhere along the way, I encourage you to go do something, act of good faith, or make somebody's Christmas, because it is awesome to see my girls, all three of them, put up the tree. I just sat back and I was the video guy, the way my dad used to do for us when we decorated. So my beef is anybody that is not in the Christmas spirit yet, get there, because you're missing out. You've only got so many of these to go around, and especially if you got young kids, or you are a young kid, you got to be. So what's that?
Be jolly. That's it.
Be jolly. Be a jolly. I think we lost Ty. He's out. He's out.
Ty's about to fall asleep.
You just rotate your camera.
We're all good.
It's Scotty.
Ty.
So that's going to do it. We've got tomorrow a very special edition of the YSN Power Hour, and I want to let you know that we will be having Tuesday trivia from now on Tuesday. So what that means is there will be 5 contestants and one handsome host, I should say, that will be utilizing this, and it'll be all sports trivia, and maybe we'll throw in a few of the local trivias for some extra points. But make sure you have your trivia pants on tomorrow, boys. It should be a good show. Should be fun to watch, and you can chime in too right here on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by G. Berbick Farms and What's Your Beef. Say bye, everybody.